Hello, everybody. I'm checking in on our status as a live broadcast. So let me check here. And here we are. I think we're here.
Oh, yes, I see us. Yes, I see us.
Checking in on our great. I'm going to silence my phone so I don't get any feedback here, and I just lost it. Let me come back to this. I'm sorry, everybody. We're about to get started. I just want to make sure that I'm connected and I can see people's comments. Here we are. Great. All right. Thank you. Welcome, everyone, to Academia Theater Online, a Q&A between myself, David Lozano, the Executive Artistic Director of Academia Theater, and my soul sister, Stefanie Tovar.
Hello, hello. It's such an honor to be here.
Well, thank you so much for being here. You're a big inspiration for us to create Academia Online. And so thank you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. I'm excited. Like the rain is making me want to just kind of settle in, snuggle in, and just be still a bit more. Although I say that and I'm super excited to be talking to you right now. It's so nice to see your face.
I know it's been a long time.
Yeah.
We're here to talk about Stefanie's program within our offerings for Academia Online, in which we're integrating the arts with health. And she is presenting a class called Stories That Heal that will take place on May 20th and May 27th at 12 noon each day. The first day will be an orientation, and the second day will be the actual class. So we're here to talk about that. We're here to inform you, answer any questions, and to share what we can about this process. I've signed up. I'm looking forward to it. We have 5 people signed up, and so there's 5 more spaces. And if you want to learn a little bit more, you can go to academiatheater.org. But this is part of a series, again, that Academia has been developing, in which we're integrating the arts and health. So are you ready to begin, Stefanie?
Totally, yes.
Right. Well, let's kick this off. So we are going to, we're going to start this course similarly like we have started the other courses that I've been leading, the Actors Tools for Calming the Mind. And so it allows us to center and begin to speak from our authentic selves and to check in with ourselves. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to ask first Stefanie, and then I'll share myself. But we want to ask you out there who are watching, we're going to ask you to share what we call your bhava. Bhava is Sanskrit, not Baba, but bhava is Sanskrit for the flavor of the moment. So just check in with us and just let us know how you feel in this moment. What's the flavor in this moment and in your space? So Stefanie, why don't you share your bhava?
Well, my bhava is excitement and hope. I'm filled with hope right now. Stories That Heal has so much hope in it. Starting with personal interactions and then hopefully helping us expand and witness humanity. And I feel like that's just so crucial right now. So excited.
Thank you. I would say I also am feeling hope right now. I feel blessed to have the opportunity to take care of myself at this time. And my goal is to allow this opportunity to give me a space to help others in any way we can, and as an organization to also do that. So I am also very hopeful, and I just feel really good right now. And so please, anyone else that would like to share what we call our bhava, which is your flavor of the moment, or how it is that you feel in this moment and in this space. So before we begin, we're going to use one of the techniques from the Actors Tools for Calming the Mind, just to create the mind space and for us to continue this conversation. So what we are really focusing on when we are working with the Actors Tools for Calming the Mind, we are working with the 3 building blocks of the actor, which are the mind, the body, and our emotions. So I'm going to ask everyone, wherever they are and where you're watching this live stream, just to allow yourself to make the transition from where you came to this present moment. So you saw I just took a deep breath, because as I become more present by making this transition, I felt compelled to take a deep breath, to breathe in tension and to release it. And also the impulse comes from the desire to create more breath capacity. It's a great way to become more present, release tension, and create breath capacity, which is essential for a calm mind and body and a calm presence. Good. Now I'm going to ask you to simply observe your body as you're sitting on this chair. Observe the parts of your bottom that are making contact with the chair. And if you can, and if necessary, if you need to feel your feet on the floor, or however you're seated, if you're seated cross-legged, that's fine. Just feel the parts of your body that make contact with the floor. The soles of your feet that make contact with the floor. Again, as I become more present, I have the impulse to release tension through an inhale and an exhale, and to create more breath capacity. So I observe the soles of my feet that make contact with the floor. With my mind's eye, I'm going to observe the skeleton of my entire body. My mind's eye, I'm going to observe the skeleton of my feet, the fibula, knees, femur, pelvis, my spine, each vertebra stacked up one on top of the other for a nice upright spine, through the neck and the skull. Sometimes just being aware, again, allows us to further relax, release tension. So we observe this nice and tall skeleton from the pelvis through each vertebra, through the neck and the skull. Imagine that this tall spine is like a coat rack. And we're just exerting enough strength to keep it nice and upright, releasing any unnecessary tension, engaging only what we need to, disengaging what we don't need. Now on this nice tall coat rack, which is our spine, we let our muscles fall like wet coats on a coat rack. Periodically breathing in any tension and breathing it out. Releasing tension from the crown of our head, the forehead, the sides of our head, eyebrows, eye sockets, sinuses, jaw, neck, vocal cords, shoulders, muscles below the collarbone, upper back, chest, heart, diaphragm, stomach, upper body, upper back, mid back, lower back, waist, pelvic region, releasing all of the tension in these muscles, thighs, knees, calf, ankle. Observe your emotions, whatever they may be. You don't have to fix them or correct them. Just let them flow. Emotions are like liquid. They will just flow, dissolve. Allow yourself to let go of any thoughts of the past or any thoughts of the future or any preoccupations of the present. Release your grip and just bring your attention to your body in this space, in this moment. Observe your natural breath as you breathe in, breathe out. Good. So that's the first step for our series of calming the mind with the actor's tools. And Stefanie asked if we could begin this way. So it's a wonderful way to begin. I wish I began all meetings like this. So thank you, Stefanie. So we're just going to have a discussion here about Stefanie's course, Stories That Heal. And we'll talk for about 10 minutes, and then we'll have people who can also, type your own questions here in the comment section.
Mm-hmm.
So
I have to say, I love that Cheyenne is here, and Kobe says clear, stable presence right now, which is so lovely.
Wonderful.
So, yeah.
Well, let's talk about the Stories That Heal. So tell me about how this came about.
Well, I believe I called you the Friday after shelter in place, or maybe the Friday of the week of shelter in place. Was that when it happened?
No, I think it may have been.
Pretty early.
Yeah, it was within the 7 days of the announcement of the pandemic. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And the thing that I was witnessing was just all of us in a state of frenzy and overwhelm, and I also noticed people wanting to access expression and having a challenging time of it. Meanwhile, we're gathering stories to share with one another that kind of fed the upset and fed the trauma. And so for me, I was thinking, rather than feeding the trauma, is there a way that we can collectively feed the transcendence and feed the healing, feed that reconnection and reclamation of the human experience? Because especially now, it's something that I feel that we really need to intentionally do, especially in these media platforms, is really reach through and try to find that opportunity to connect with humanity. And so that's especially what got me to the thought of Stories That Heal, is just getting all of us, because we're all storytellers, we're all creatives, and getting us all to look out, seek out for the stories that help us feel grounded, stories that have healed us, stories that maybe remind us of our resilience and remind us of our ability to transcend life situations, whatever it can be. And with Stories That Heal, I was also thinking, in sharing it collectively, we can witness how we're different and how we're the same. So even like David, the way you did the body scan, of course, I leak through my eyes, as you know I do. But, I was crying such humble tears at knowing that even though, your calling and your line of work is within theatrical arts, it's still no different. That felt very much like a practice of mindfulness and yoga. And that is what it is. It's not, there isn't difference. There isn't separation between us. And so with Stories That Heal, we get that opportunity to share our different, unique stories, but also notice that universal humanity that we share.
Absolutely. And when you first called me, you reached out, and you were ready to serve. And I was envisioning you with your headphones on, talking to me on the phone, and the Stefanie Tovar march that's to save and change the world, change the world, and for better. And so that was a dark place that I was in, because for a number of reasons. And for one, I was asking myself, why would Academy of Theater even begin to have a staff meeting? Why even show up to work as a theater company?
Yeah.
There were so many things that we didn't understand at that time. We just needed to turn on the TV or social media, and we were seeing, places like New York City just being bombarded with an unknown virus, and without the preparation necessary and support. So it was a really difficult time. And as a theater company, we were asking ourselves, why show up to work? And because theater didn't seem to make sense at that moment. And so I think that when we looked at our mission, which was to engage and inspire people to uplift their community. Again, I'll repeat that: engage and inspire people to uplift their communities. And that became a reason to show up. We didn't have the answers. And then personally, I was asking myself, what is my purpose? And it took me a minute. It took me a while. And what I did is I looked backwards in my life. I looked at my past, and really it was theater. It was my practice of mindfulness, of working with my body, and creation. And so these are tools that not only have helped build a career, but have given me fulfillment, and it provided the foundation for a vision of living, and in many ways I would say a vision in part for Academy of Theater. So I felt, okay, what can we offer? And so I'm offering the class of actors tools for calming the mind. And then you called, and so we talked this through, and so this makes so much sense. So it made so much sense to develop a program that is that you, as an artist and a performer, as well as a healer and a yogi, how do the arts provide a pathway for healing? And you talked to me about imagination. Can you expand on that?
Yeah. So in previous meetings, you're talking about how important it is to be in a state of mind of creation and imagination. And I ended up turning to this book that's called The Body Keeps Score. And I actually got some quotes here. Trauma has shut down their inner compass and robbed them of the imagination they need to create something better. Without imagination, there's no hope, no chance to envision a better future, no place to go, no goal to reach. Imagination is absolutely critical to the quality of our lives. Our imagination enables us to leave our routine everyday existence and consider all the things that make life interesting. Imagination gives us the opportunity to envision new possibilities. It is an essential launch pad for making our hopes come true. It fires our creativity, relieves our boredom, alleviates our pain, enhances our pleasure, and enriches our most intimate relationships. Mm-hmm. And so even if we can all think of a moment in time, and this is, folks that have been in, like steeped in professional creation, or those of us who have engaged with creation, we all have, right? We all have engaged with that creative quality of life. Whether it's that song that really helps you remember or helps you cry and release those tears, or the song you want to angry sing, or the dance that you danced that one time, that theater art piece, or the movie that really moved your soul. We all have these moments that help evoke that pleasure. Everybody right now, right? Like in this time of quarantine, a lot of us are turning on to the Netflix and like, you know, all these different things to relieve our boredom, enhancing our pleasure, and also having us find that intimate relationship connection. There's a lot of book clubs and folks like even posting in their feeds about movies and like, hey, did y'all see that? That's crazy. And we're engaging in dialogue with the arts being that vehicle of connection. And I just love the fact that, you know, this is a book that really talks about, it's called The Body Keeps Score, Brain, Mind, and Body in the Healing of Trauma. It's in embodying the extra step, I would say, and I've experienced it directly with you, David, in working with Academia Theater, in embodying the transcendence, embodying the story. We get to reroute our bodies, minds, and hearts to that healing and to that transcendence. So there is watching it on the screen, and there is, you know, that pleasure and that, you know, that receiving of goodness. And then there's also the embodiment where we can allow ourselves to be the instruments of that transcendent change. And, you know, that vehicle of looking to what is possible. And so that's what we're after with Stories That Heal.
So we're looking to embody the imagination.
Yes.
Moving towards these, you know, this vision we may have as an individual, for joy or for whatever it is that we're interacting with, we're cultivating when we engage with arts or story. Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Thank you. Well, and even too, David, how you were saying you weren't sure of your purpose until you look back at these memories. You know, that could be part of Stories That Heal too. Like even just telling us a story of that memory when you felt fully committed and fully immersed in what you love and immersed in your purpose. So, I mean, the Stories That Heal has room for narrative. We're also opening it up if people want to share a piece of music. Maybe they play it, an instrument, or they sing it. Maybe they play it and they dance to it. You know, poetry, theater pieces, really, I mean, it depends on visual art, I mean, everything.
So the embodied imaginations could come from the voice by telling a personal story or performing something, a song. Also embodied one could perform a dance or a movement piece, or embodied also in a visual work of art that one can share or one that is created. So that's a really powerful pathway, because that is essentially, I think, that what we do as artists, right? We're embodying imagination through our work. But in this process, is this just for artists?
No, and that's the thing, like even moving away from perform, because artists, like I would ask you to not have it rehearsed. Like it's not about it being polished. It's about it being us bearing our hearts and bearing our truth through whatever vehicle we choose to use. And it is for all of us, because we are all storytellers. We all have that access to that creativity, whether it is through, you know, coloring in the lines of a picture, or even just like creatively telling our own personal narrative, or, you know, I don't know, like even like plants, like the way you garden, if you create a little fixture, like a mandala is what they call it, like a circle, like a little design with your rocks. And like, this is what felt right for me today to speak.
Well, I've been practicing.
Have you?
I've been practicing. I have to rehearse because I had to memorize the song, and I'm going to sing it. I'm looking forward to it.
I love it.
Surprise everybody.
Well, that's the thing. I will say, you know, practicing it and specifically seeking it out and focusing attention to it is everything, because it is like mindfulness practice. When we're focusing our attention to the transcendence, it's great. It's just, I don't want to polish and you come in and like, hey.
It's not an audition.
You know?
Yeah. Not an audition. It's
not an audition. That's right.
Okay, well, that's great. Well, thank you so much, Stefanie. And so we're going to open it up to questions, but before we open it up to any questions people may have, so we want to invite you, if you have any questions for Stefanie about what stories that heal may be about, where it came from, or you want to know more about Stefanie, please feel free to make a comment and ask a question in the comment section. And again, Stories That Heal is a class that we are offering, led by Stefanie and co-facilitated by Academia's own Cheyenne Raquel Farley, who is a wonderful artist and human being. And
Yes.
she will be co-facilitating with Stefanie. Is that right?
Yes, I'm excited. It's been a gift to get to know Cheyenne better. And I haven't even met her face to face. I've met her during this time, but it feels even more intense, the connection. It's so cool.
Oh yeah, Cheyenne is intense and she brings it all.
Yes.
She has a great heart. So it's going to be a great space. And it's, again, we're talking about the class, Academia's online course, Stories That Heal, led by Stefanie Tovar and co-facilitated by Cheyenne Raquel Farley. And we're opening it up to anyone who may have any questions about what this process may be, or if you have any questions from for Stefanie. Great. Yeah, I'm so glad to have people on board with us right now. So Stefanie, tell me a little bit about your work. It's work. It's an avocation, but you have vocations, but it's also part avocation. Tell us about your work a little bit before we sign off.
Yeah. So my vehicle, I guess, right now is yoga, which I use or utilize to help heal myself and those around me. I've been teaching for, gosh, it's crazy, like about 12 years now. And for the first, I would say 4 years of it, there was no music, no creative expression, except for within the movement and within my metaphors that I would speak in class. But later I found my teacher, and I have like the harmonium, and now I sing in every practice that I offer. And depending on the spaces, allow folks to practice alongside with me. Although all this is shifting too, I will say. I'm in training right now, mentorship with another beautiful soul based out of California, and learning how to integrate even more creative arts and expression to help us free our voice collectively. So healing and collective, there's going to be maybe some yoga movements, but it's really more about setting my creative heart free even more to help support us in collective healing and collective rising. So that's happening. It is happening. I feel very called right now. Wow, I'm of course. I feel very called to speak the truth that I do come from a line of healers. My ancestry is in healers. My grandmother was a curandera, so she would read people their cards and offer them their healing. And I feel like I've been gifted some of that intuitive insight from my ancestors, and I thank them so much for that. And hopefully I try my best to be a channel to help receive this knowledge that is not mine and help pass it on. So that's kind of what I do in a yoga room. And I also have a yoga outreach nonprofit called Hanuman Homies. And so Hanuman Homies is all about supporting those within the margins, really, and hopefully waking up those who are not in the margins to the fact that there are folks within the margins that do not have access to resources. The gift of being able to find their way into a yoga room, the gift to be able to sit still and close their eyes to practice mindfulness, that is a privilege that we have that lots of folks in the margins do not get to because they're triggered on the daily. And so Hanuman Homies is trying to build that bridge to help us see each other and witness that humanity within one another, but then particularly offering mindfulness and yoga and all these tools. I mean, that's really what it is. We're not trying to save anybody. If anything, we're just trying to share our tools because we know they're a bit hard to reach here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and we're trying to change that.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic and wonderful. And I think what Stefanie is talking about is also, I think, a pathway for us as artists and for us as theater companies at this time is how are we creating a pathway in which we are, we're connected to the life around us, and we're providing opportunities for people to engage maybe in more ways than just spectators. Because I think there's some opportunities there, and I think that we'll be exploring that further, with Stefanie and through Academia Theater. I'm so inspired by this because it makes me think again about the what performing first did for me, which was embodying imagination in the very act of creation. So for me, I was always inspired about creating on my feet with my body, and through, often through clown, poetic movement, or mask. And so I was able to engage in my imagination and embody it in the moment of creation with an audience. And so that experience is what gave me life. And you're saying that we can experience that through so many disciplines and forms, and
Yes.
not even just what we call art, but telling our personal story.
Exactly. Our lives are art, right? And how cool that we get to, it's also helping us bridge connections across different forms of creation. So one person shares theatrical art, and someone shares visual art, and someone shares musical art, dance art. Like, it's just so exciting. I'm very excited to see what people share with us through Stories That Heal.
So this is Stefanie Tovar, who will be leading Stories That Heal, a class in which people will have the opportunity to share their embodied imagination through voice, or their body, through a work of art, or through a personal story. And this is a course that will take place on May 20th and May 27th at 12 noon on a Zoom class. We have what we call justice pricing, in which there are levels in which this class is made accessible to all people. And if even justice pricing is too much of a challenge, please don't hesitate to send us an email. But go to academiatheater.org to find more information. Share this video if this was helpful. And we would love to have more people be involved with Stories That Heal.
Mm-hmm. So Kobe was asking the length of the class and the meeting times for classes. So it's going to be about an hour and 15 to an hour and a half. You can look also at Stories That Heal. It is a Facebook event. So even just moving straight over there through academiatheater.org or Stefanie Tovar Yoga, and it'll give you the info, the direct link to academiatheater.org to help you sign up. But our first session is May 20th, and that's an orientation. So that's a little bit of time with me getting familiar with Zoom, because it is going to be through the Zoom platform, and then also helping us really make sure that we're all connected to the intention of it, and maybe alleviate any anxiety if we have any anxiety about being a part of this. And just really reiterating, it doesn't have to be a rehearsed performance. It's really more about the heart and the soul being seen, and you being brave to be seen like that. And then I have, we're going to be doing some offerings, Cheyenne and I, when it comes to grounding and opportunities to connect with your intention in the orientation. And then the 27th is when we actually get to share the stories with each other. So we just witness, and we're going to share. And then at the very end, we'll be able to dialogue about our experience together.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
So we had a special request for Stefanie for you to sing. Can you share a song with us before we break today?
Of course. So yeah, here's my harmonium. It's a beautiful instrument of Bhakti Yoga. So that's where even the words of the Baba come from. This hopefully will give you a sense of the flavor of Stories That Heal. And these are sounds that I actually got to learn with Pangea World Theater. So these were other passionate advocates from across the globe, literally. That were really, we were all uniting with the hope for conscious change and transformation, with the vehicle being creative healing arts. So let's first take a seat. And maybe it's in a chair, maybe you're seated on the floor or your couch. And just like David said earlier, witnessing your seat, anchoring into that support, hopefully allowing your spine to be like that cobra, skin draping, easing into the support of your spine. Allowing these sounds, these sacred sounds from India, these sacred ancient sounds to wash over you. Maybe it inspires you to soften a little bit more. So the sounds are, I come from a place, I'm going to a place, I am and I am. Maybe this is a way that we can consider our story that heals. Maybe it's the place you're coming from, where you're going, or a story to affirm you. I come from a place, I'm going to a place, I am and I am. Where you're coming from, I come from a place, I'm going to a place, I am and I am. I come from a place, I'm going to a place, I am. I come from a place, I'm going to a place, I am. So maybe these sounds are familiar to you, or you can let them etch into your memory. I'm going to a place, I am and I am. And maybe you can inhale with me through the nose. Open up. One more. Allowing these sounds to be like your mantra, something to be repeated over and over again in your body, your mind, your heart, considering where you're coming from, considering where you're going, considering purpose, all that you are, your soul. So you can join me in these sounds or let them wash over. In partnership with Pangea World Theater, we were gifted the opportunity to share spoken word poetry, dance, musically color outside the lines like I did earlier. So let yourself be and breathe. Together through the nose again. Open mouth. I come from a place. I'm going to a place. I am and I am. Together inhale. I come from a place. I'm going to a place. I am and I am. I come from a place. I'm going to a place. I am and I am. 3 more times. I come from a place. I'm going to a place. I am and I am. I come from a place. I'm going to a place. I am and I am. Last time. I come from a place. I'm going to a place. I am and I am. Keeping these sounds echoing, humming in your heart to help help us ground in purpose, move on purpose, together through the nose, open mouth. I look so forward to meeting you heart to heart, face to face, from my heart and home to yours. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Stefanie. Wonderful. So, you know, I want to close with that song. What a pleasure to hear you sing and to share that wisdom through those words with us. Thank you.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. It really is. I look so forward to this work and doing more work with you and yeah, being a part of this movement. Thank you.
Right. So we're talking about Stories That Heal, led by Stefanie Tovar, co-facilitated by Cheyenne Raquel Farley. This is a course that will take place on May 20th and May 27th at 12 noon. And you can go to our Facebook event of Stories That Heal, or you can go to Academia Theater's website and register. We have justice pricing, so the cost is accessible to all people. And please let us know if you have any further questions. And just like we began, we are going to also close. So we're going to close by having Stefanie share what we call her baba, which is the flavor of the moment, how she feels in the moment in her space. And how I feel, I will share mine. And then we're going to ask you to share your baba in the comment section of this video. So Stefanie, what is your baba?
I am humbled and grateful, leaning in intently.
Great. I'm feeling at peace. My creative mind is working, and I'm looking forward to continuing this path of work with Academia Theater. So please, anyone that would like to share their baba, Kobe says namaste. Namaste, Kobe. And if anyone else would like to share their baba or how they feel in this moment, in time, in space, please share it in the comment section. Otherwise, we have 5 more spaces for Stories That Heal. And please register on our website or go to the Facebook event. And we are happy to host you. And please let us know if you have any questions about all of this work that integrates the arts and health. Thank you so much. And thank you, Stefanie. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day.
Many blessings. Bye-bye.
Bye.